for your people showed up.
Yes,
I
Lord.
believe that we have a word to speak concerning you.
God, thank you.
Father, we bind the hands of the enemy for trying to come in and
Right now,
the
Lord.
word out of our heart.
Thank you.
So we receive the word with all readiness of mind.
Yes, Lord.
And we thank you that the word will do it good, just like medicine.
Yes, Lord.
And Father, we thank you for it right now. All
Thank
the
you.
glory, all the praise, all
Yes.
the honor. It goes to you.
Yes, Lord.
In Jesus' name.
In Jesus' name.
Amen.
Amen.
And amen. Well, as always, but we're going to definitely get into it. What we're going to say, we'll get into it. But we always, like I said, we always ask if you have any question that you want to ask before starting the night Bible study, that you can ask. Really, that's what Bible study is about. You know, we won't take a lot of questions because, like I said, we want to get into the lesson for the night because we did most of that last week. So we're going to get into it tonight. Is there any question? Going once, no question. Going two. Gone.
Say gone.
It's gone. Okay, what we're going to be discussing tonight, we brought out last week that we're going to be discussing about, what did we say we were going to discuss?
The
5 books.
The 5 books in the Bible. Let me ask the question. Most of the time, well, maybe we have a discussion going, you share some things that, you know, caught my attention about this the second chapter of the book of Revelation. Most of the people that if you ask, what do they know about heaven? I'm talking about people that have been saved a long time. They can tell you, they can hardly give you a hardly of the description about what they're going to be like.
True.
How many know that?
True.
You ask the person, listen, what's going to happen? What's going to happen when I arrive in heaven? What's going to take place when I arrive there? Most people can't tell you. Most folks, the only thing they can tell you, and I know you didn't come up in the tradition church, Bishop Isaac and Dr. They came up in the tradition church. Most people tell you they sing a song. You got a robe, and I got a robe. And all of God's children got a robe. And when we get to heaven, we're going to put on our robe. We're going to shout all over God's heaven. That's one of the things they used to say. They're talking about we are a crown. When we get to heaven, we're going to put on our crown, you know. And some people can tell you about the street heaven got, a street made with gold. You know, and some, which we hear preach pretty much all the time when you go to the funeral, the 14th chapter of St. John. Jesus talked about a mansion.
Right.
He explained to the disciples, he said, I'm going away to prepare a place for you. He said, if I go, I will come again and receive you unto myself where I am, you'll be also. So he talked about there was a mansion that we had in heaven. Pretty much that's it. That's it. You know, now, I'm going to say something right here, because again, we're going to get into the lesson for the night, because we're going to get into 5 books. I hope we can get through all of them. The 5 books. I'm going to tell you, to be honest with you, you start in one book and you lead to one, you know, and be so much in one book, like you were saying in the 2nd chapter. If somebody asks you a question, you know, other than what I say, what I've already said, what else could you tell them about him? Other than, you know, we got a robe. Where we going to put it on anyway when we get there? We got a robe, we got a crown, and we got a mansion. Other than that, what else can we talk, have a conversation about heaven to somebody? What?
Our new name written in stone. New manna. Talk about the new manna hidden from everyone.
Okay. That's right.
Talk about our works.
What?
Our works, you know, we're going to be tried. Whether we did good or whether we did
That's
evil.
right.
You know, whether we tried by fire or, you know, and if it ain't, it could be wood or stuff going to be burned up.
That's right.
But the person is going to be saved, you know. And so we got to be tried like gold.
Okay.
Now, name be written in the Lamb Book of Life or the Lamb Book of Death, eternal death.
Okay. Okay, that's absolutely true. You know, and then we finna get into it for now. Already made a song you know, most of you have heard, you ever hear the song that he made sitting on the dock of the bay? You know what part of that song, he sang this hymn. He said, I don't know, he really was talking about death. He said, I don't know what lies beyond the cloud. You remember that part of that song? He was saying, I'm really confused. And a lot of people here, I think they got a lot of people kind of like, you know, I don't know about that. We don't preach a lot about it. We preach a lot about different things, but we don't really get into it. What heaven really gonna be like when we get there, what our role gonna be, what we gonna be doing. All that, it's more than going to heaven and just, you know, going to a mansion. You think you can be sitting up in your mansion all day? No. Don't be sitting in no mansion all day. So it's more to it than that. I think a lot of ministers feel that it's not important. You know, I hear some say this, I hear people say, oh, I don't care, you know, just as long as I get to heaven. To me, to me, like you're saying, I don't care, you know, about what goes on in heaven, just as long as I can get there. Let me tell you, you do want to know. You do want to know. It's just like if somebody say, look, I'm going to give you a ticket to go to London or go to Spain or go to Germany. I want to know what the food like. I can't talk German. When I get there, I'm going to have an interpreter. I need to know all that before I go to Germany. It's the same thing. You know, it's sad that a lot of people, when they go to heaven, they're going to be caught by surprise. Total surprise. Simply because they have sat down there and studied the script and they don't preach too much about it. The only thing they preach about is just live right and try to make it. It's more to it than that. So we need to know. So we looked at the crown. How many crowns there were? 5 crowns. There are 5 crowns. How many of that, long as you've been in church, how many hear people talk about the crown other than we get to heaven, we're going to put on our crown? Or we going to catch our crown, like the 24-year-old catch their crown before God. You know, people don't know nothing about that. We need to know.
Right.
You know, if it wasn't important, it wouldn't be in the Bible. We need to know.
That's right.
So this, you know, sometime I would kind of like get a jump. You know, I guess about 2 or 3 months ago, remember I said something in one of the Bible studies. I'm kind of curved the Bible study for a little bit. You know, kind of getting some other areas. Y'all remember me say that? So they were talking about, you know, we can keep going strip by strip like we've been doing, which is good because we learn like that way. There's nothing wrong with that. That's how we learn. But sometimes then I call it, you know, we need to jump the hoop and start getting some, you know, some things that we haven't here preached.
Oh yeah.
You know, now them Jehovah's Witnesses can tell you. They can tell you some things. You know, you ask about it, them that have been around the Jehovah's Witnesses for a while, they can break it down and they can tell you exactly about some things in heaven, what you're going to do when you get there. So, there are 5 crowns. There are 5 books of the Bible. Let's look at the first thing first before we get into the book. Let's go to the 20th chapter of the book of Revelation. Revelation, the 20th chapter. Get it, I got it.
Got it.
The 20th chapter. And look at the 11th verse. Like I said, we might not get into all these books because, you know, as we started discussing, the time can get away. 20 and 11. Who wrote the book of Revelation?
John.
Who?
John.
John.
Island of Patmos.
You're right. It's believed that he was the only one that did not receive a martyrdom death. He was the only one. 20 and 11. And I saw a great white throne, and he that sat upon it, from whom the face of the earth and the heaven fleed away. Let's stop right there. Let's stop. Do you see what that's saying? The heaven and the earth fleed away. And there was found no place for them. I wish I could go into that time, get into it. And I saw the dead, the small and the great, standing before God. And what?
And I and before God in the book was
Okay, stop right there. Make sure everybody got it.
Okay.
The
Yeah,
12.
it's on the books.
Huh?
It's on.
That's right. The 12. And I saw the dead, the small and the great, standing before God. And the books was open. In another book. Now, if you notice something, he say, the books was open.
right,
And then
One book.
another book.
right.
Everybody see that?
Right?
And the books was open, and another book was open, which was in the book of life. And the dead were judged out of these things, which were written in the books according to their works. Let me just stop right there. What did the 12 verses say?
He said, and I saw the dead, small and great, standing before God, and the books were open. That means there were more than one book open. And you know, what he was telling us, and he opened the book, and which was in the book of life was where the dead will be judged according to those the things that which we did. You know, according to what have been recorded in the book. Because there's a recording going on, you know, and it is recorded every day of what we do and what we don't do. And so he said when that book was open, that was the book of life, and it was written in the books according to their work. In other words, there are more than one book, because they keep talking about books, that going to be open to us. And that let us know that, you know, whatever we do, we better do it right. And we better do it carefully so that we can line up when these books be open, we'll be right before Christ.
Okay. Anybody else?
I too agree with everything you said, what you said too, Bishop, I agree. He said that he saw the dead, the small and great, stand before God. And the books, like you said, there was more than one book right there was open. And they were open. And another book, this is a single book, one book was open, which is the book of life. There's one book with the book of life, eternal life. And the dead were judged out of those books, those things which were written in the books, one book, in the books according to their works. So even though we say that we born again, we still go be judged for the good and the wrong we done, because there, I believe it's different ranks in heaven like different ranks in hell. You know, for the saints. And so more than one book, like you said.
To me, what stands out to me is two words, life and the dead. Now he said there were books, and then he said there was another book, a particular book, that was open, which is the book of life. And the dead were judged out of these things. They mean there was one book that was open just to be judged for. These are dead. That mean there's, because the book of life, if you open up the book of life, they mean they's getting judged about the past thing. Basically what I'm saying is this book is talking to specifically sinners. The dead. There ain't no saints in the 12th verse. Now it talks about the books, then he opened up one particular book. And the dead were judged out of these things, which are written in the books according to their works. So, you know, the Bible say, you know, we have life if we in Christ. So if the saints are in Christ, we have life, right? So if you don't have life, you're dead. It means that you are a sinner. These the ones that are going to get judged by just that one book first. Because I remember y'all saying something back, a couple Bible studies, about you don't want to stand in front of the white throne. I remember y'all saying something like that. And this brings it up. So this is not talking about the saints. These are talking about sinners.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. He said,
Okay.
huh?
I just said okay.
He said, everything I was saying about, he said, there was books, an S on it. And then he said, book, which is single. This was happening. The single book is the book of life. He gonna go to that first. He going there first. So let me see your name is in the book of life. Once he didn't find in the book of life, then the books was over. Now he finna judge you, what you just say, according to your word. You can't be saved by works.
No.
No, you can't.
So Brother May is absolutely right. This is the great white throne experiment. In some of the book you should have it like in mine. It got it in my fine writing. At the top of it, the great white throne.
Yeah.
You got it too. The great white throne. So you got to mine got it.
Mine got the book of life.
Okay, the great white throne. At the great white throne of judgment, there's no believers there. There's no saint there. Ain't nobody there but laws. So what he does, he opened the book. The first book gonna be over. It's the book of life. Your name is not in that book. He said, okay, now you know you're lost because you're not in the book of life. Now he finna judge you out of the book. You know how he gonna judge you? That's why you can't be saved. Everything that you did when you come to accountability up until the time that you go before God, you got to give an account for it if you're not saved. Everything. Now, the question is, how do God know everything? We know he's omnipotent. How do he know everything? How do God know everything about us?
Because he's the creator.
He will.
He's the creator.
That's exactly right.
And he knows our heart.
That's exactly right. That's right. He's omnipotent. He knows everything. Really, I'm just saying this shit, but trouble right. He ain't got to own the book stuff. He don't really have to own the book, but he wants you to see. I'm gonna tell you, have you thought about it? You can how many guys are recording some of your people that are passing on, but you gotta record. Pretty much all the thing y'all. You see what I'm saying? You know, like we got them on a tape or something. How many got a tape of some of your people that are passing on? Okay, they may be done passed on 10 or 15 years, but we can run it right back and see. If they was at a party, we can see everything they done at that party, but they've been dead 10 years, 15 years. But they was alive right there.
Yes, sir.
I get what you're saying.
See what I'm saying? So God is going, that's why I said, sinner, they better get that together. Everything, it is recorded. Everything recorded. From the time that you come into accountability until the time you stand before at the great white throne, you got God gonna show you. You can't lie. Listen. Yeah, how can you lie if you're looking at you on a tape saying, ain't that you?
Yeah, that's you.
You can't do that.
Yeah. You can't lie. You know, we can get a tape player or some other people that passed on years ago. We know them. We can't say, if this our mama, we can't say, you know, that's my aunt. No, that's your mama. You know your mama, you're looking right at them. That's right. So, John is saying the same thing. John is saying that they're going to give an account because the book first, the single book gonna be open. Their name ain't in that book, so now God finna open up the books. And let me tell you, can I give you revelation? This what he talking about, brother man. You got a book.
Right.
He ain't just talking about he got one book with everybody in it. He got a book with just you in it.
Yeah.
He gonna start looking at you gonna didn't you do this here? Then when he finish, he give you where's that? Then he gonna have look at your book. So he said books. Everybody can have a book. Everybody can have a book. That's why it's on say, and the books was open.
That's a big book.
Everything that you did. Everything that you did from the time you come into accountability until the time that you die, you're going to give an account for it. So he said the book was open. Do everybody see that?
Amen.
Yes,
Any question before we go in on that? That's not even the first.
yeah.
That's not even the first book. I'm just showing you that there are books to be open. Anybody got any questions before we get into the first?
That's good.
Only the dead is going to be there. Only the dead.
That's what he said.
Any question before we go to any further? You can't lie. And see, it's kind of like whenever you go into a courtroom, how many of the cases they take?
Bunches.
One at a time.
One at a time.
One at a time. When you stand before, it's amazing how God, when you stand before God, if you notice something, he said, heaven and earth flee away. So you're gonna be standing before God, nobody but you and God. Ain't gonna be no crowd of people, just you and God, and God will start opening up the book.
Praise the Lord.
If your name is not recorded in the book, the book of life, you're gonna be judged out of all the books. Any question? Now, that just showing you about the book. We finished showing you the first book. Let's go to Jeremiah, the first chapter of the book of Jeremiah. Get us like that.
Okay.
Jeremiah, the first chapter. And let's start at the 5th verse. The first book is called the Book of the Living. The Book of the Living. L-I-V-I-N-G. The book, that's the first book, the Book of the Living. And I'm really just guessing because I don't have time, really get in all the way to like I want to, but this give you something to study on. The first chapter of the book of Jeremiah. Everybody got it?
Amen.
Jeremiah 1 and 5. Now, this book is the book of the living. 5. Before I formed you in the belly, I knowed you. And before you come forth out of your mother's womb, I sanctified you and ordained you as a prophet unto the nation. Do everybody see that?
Uh-huh.
Everybody understand what they're saying?
Mm-hmm.
Again, this is the book of life. What do you see in the very 5th verse? What did anybody see in the 5th verse?
God knew us even before our mothers conceived us. Because the Almighty God, ain't nothing hid to him.
That's right.
Wrong or right, it's not hid.
That's right. That's right.
Whether
Okay.
we know what our life gonna be or not, he knows.
That's exactly right. That's right. Anybody else?
And he telling us too that, he has set us apart. I mean, he said, I sanctified thee. I mean, I set you apart. I knew what your life was supposed to be like even before you were born. And I ordained thee to do certain things. I mean, to carry out the gospel. That's what he ordained us to do, to carry out the gospel. And you can't carry out the gospel unless you live it.
That's right. That's right. That's right. So, again, this is called the book of life. Then we're going to show you what I believe David said about it. But it's I'm sorry, it's the book of the living.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that what I say?
Right.
The book of the living. You brought a very good point. God already knew. God knows what you're supposed to do. Matter of fact, I put a step further. God knows the day that you're supposed to be born. God knows the day that you're going to leave here.
Yeah.
He knows. He know. I mean, you don't care God about surprise. Somebody, all of a sudden have a heart attack and die. They may be in their 20s. You said, they were too young to die. No. I don't know what happened. But God knew from the time that you're born until the time that you're going to die. God already know. Why? Again, because he's omnipotent. He already told Jeremiah. He said, I know what you do. If you look at the revelation he brought, he said, I know you. I already planned your life before your mom and daddy come together. I know you before they know you.
That's right.
God knows our life. God knows exactly what we're supposed to do.
Amen.
Do everybody see it? Okay, Dr.
And because we don't know that, and because of what Adam did in the garden, that altered, because of sin, we altered our life because of sin. God got plans for us, but we mess up the plan with sin in our life, and especially if we don't repent. Even though, God's whatever he got planned, he still can work if we allow him to work. If I don't want him to work in my life, even if he planned to work in my life, he's not going to force me. He's not going to force me. But God knows the plan of every last one of our lives. And the Ecclesiastes said, why die before your time? And you can die before your time because if you out there doing gang banging, that's not God's will. You the one shorten up your life when you get killed. If you out there doing drugs or whatever, stealing, God didn't shorten your life. You shorten your life.
That's right.
But they put everything on God.
Every bad thing, God got to
Yeah.
take the blame. He took the blame for it. So you're right. But it's amazing that scripture said right here. He said God knew Jeremiah before he was born. It's amazing how when Jesus came upon the scene, he started changing some names. Even in the Old Testament, he changed Jacob to Israel. So he started to change. He changed Peter to Simon. He changed Paul to Saul. I mean, from Saul, Simon to Paul. So God knew. I really think now this. You brought out before we came in how our name would be on a what?
White stone.
White stone. I don't think their name gonna change. I think that's the name they supposed to have when Christ gave them their name. That's the name they supposed to have. That's the name that was recorded in heaven. This is not our name what we got now.
No, it's not.
I'm glad to.
Amen.
Man, you.
We gonna get a
New name.
We're gonna have a new name. You're absolutely right. So God started to change. Why? Because devil God playing. God said, that name, it ain't gonna fit the kingdom. You know, I'm gonna change you from Simon to Peter. I'm changing you. So God rearranged some name.
Right.
So he gave them the name. What they gonna? Their name ain't gonna change when they get to heaven. That's the name they gonna have. But our name is gonna change. Why? Because God already done planned it. You see what I'm saying? God already knew our life. So this is called the book of life. Now I'm gonna show you everybody's name that's not in that book of life. What's gonna happen then? Let's go to Psalms 139. Psalms 139. Everybody, look at the 16th verse. I'm just gonna read that for you. Well, I'm gonna start 15 and 16. My scepter was not hid from you. When I was made, what about it?
When I was made in the secret and in the curse, brought in the lowest part of the earth.
The 16th verse. What was the 16th verse? He said, and he said, there wasn't no secret to God. God didn't make us in secret. But what the 16th verse? My eye did not see myself, yet being unperfection. And in your book all my memory was written, which is in thy countenance, were fashioned, when yet there were none of them. What's that saying? What is the 16th and the 17th verse? The 15th and the 16th verse. But I like the 16th. Your eye did see my substance, yet being unperfected. And in the books, in the book, all my memories was written, which in my continent were fashioned, when yet there were none of them. What's that saying? It's pretty simple, it's not.
I got a question though.
Okay. Then we're going to let somebody read with another interpretation.
Okay, it says, my substance was not hid from thee when I was made in secret. When he said we was made in secret, what does it mean? He was born outside of marriage? Or was
Before he was married, before he was born.
Just before you born.
Therefore, okay. My substance was not hid from thee when I was made in secret, and curiously wrought in the lowest parts of the earth. Thine eyes did see my substance, yet being unperfect. And in thy book all my members was written, which is continuance were fashioned, when as yet there was none of them. To me, this saying that God was sitting there watching them as he was being formed and growing up. He knew him, you know, when they say, I don't understand the secret part. That's why he say, my substance was not hid from thee when I was made in secret. That throws me off. I can't.
Who got a translation? Sometimes a translation will help you better understand. Brother man, did you have one? What did David say?
You see all things, nothing about me was hidden from you. As I took shape in secret, carefully crafted in the heart of the earth, before I was born from its wombs. You see all things. You saw me growing, changing in my mother's womb. Every detail of my life was already written in your book. You established the length of my life before I ever tasted the sweetness of it.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What you gonna say, Mr. Bass?
Okay, he say, you watched me as I was being formed in the other solution, as I was woven together in the dark of the womb. You saw me before I was born.
Stop. You what?
Saw me before I was born.
What you brought that? You saw me before I was even born. Go it out.
And it say, every day of my life was recorded in your book, and every moment was I laid out before a single day had passed.
Do everybody see what that's saying?
Mm-hmm.
You got a good understanding?
Mm-hmm.
This is what he's saying. God knew you were going to be born. He already started recording you. He started putting everything down about you know, like you go to school and they tell you, so what's your name? They write your name down and maybe a few more things. Before you even born, God had already had a book with your name already in it. What you're supposed to do and everything, God already had. That's why he said you were done in secret. Nobody knew nothing about it but God.
Okay.
If you notice the Bishop Bible said, even before you were born, or before you was concealed in your mother's womb, God already knew you were supposed to be born, and God already had a book for you. That makes sense?
All right.
And of course, again, this is the book of the living. So I'm saying this is the book of the living right here. The same thing that he said about Jeremiah. Said, before you were born, I knowed you. And before you were created in your mother's womb, I have already ordained you to be a prophet of him. So David is pretty much saying the same thing right here. So God already knew you before you even born. God already, but other word I put it, God had a record for you before you even got born. When you born, then he started recording.
All
The
right.
hidden part, they were talking about the hidden part, didn't nobody know nothing about it but God.
That's what threw me off.
Yeah, didn't nobody know nothing about your mama didn't know. The devil didn't know. Didn't nobody know. They was one of God's secrets. They were hid. No, hid with God. Didn't nobody know nothing about it. That makes sense? Even before you were born. Same thing that Jeremiah said. In the question. Now again, this is called the book of the living. Did you see what he said? He said, you were recorded in the book.
That's right.
Before you were born, God had already had a record, started a record before you were born. Any question?
That's good.
You know, I like the part where he said, you know, not only just he know before we were born, he said every day of your life was already recorded. That means God knows some stuff.
Oh yeah. Yeah. He all omnipotent. He knows. Well, put it this way, there everybody knows him. God knew the thought that you're gonna be thinking 10 years from now. The thought. Now that's amazing. I ain't saying what you're gonna say. God already knew the thought that you're gonna be thinking. David says, I know the thought that you think, Jeremiah said, I know the thought that you think towards me. God already knew your thoughts. So you don't never catch God by surprise. Let's look at the top part of this again, what Mayman said. He was kind of, I think he got it now. Look at the 15. My subject was not hid from you. My subject, in other words, he said, you know what? When I'm born, it didn't catch you by surprise.
Right.
You know, your mother and father, you know, they come together and you conceal, and God, he said God already knew. God already had a record of you already before they even come together. He said, my son was with you.
All right.
They wasn't he. That makes sense? Okay.
I'm glad you cleared that out, and that just opened my eyes, revelation on something. You know, I know y'all already know about it, but that opened my eyes on something. We got to be careful who we put our mouth on.
Oh yeah.
You know, just cause they parents, you know, wasn't married or whatever, it has nothing to do, because Satan can't give life. Only God can give life.
Right.
So like you said right here, God already ordained that child life.
Yes, exactly
So we might focus on how that child was brought up in the neighborhood, or the people they hung with or they still hanging with, but we still can't judge that by the anointing God that already. This make it perfectly clear. You know, our eyes only see the physical part that they do. But even if they don't choose, you know, to walk the path that God chose them to walk, we see the purpose of their life. Like you say, you know, the name that was given to us is not our name. You know, we don't know their real name. We don't know their real person. Sometimes we can hinder them from actually knowing or going in the direction they need to be. And Satan is very strategic about that. You know, we sitting there saying, well, we pushing them away. Well, we need to pull them back because we don't know their purpose. God do. Either we can help them or be a hindrance. And I like that. He brought that out. And that's...
You know, that's good what you just say, brother. Because see, sometimes people try to, he ain't gonna be nothing.
That's the word.
I know the daddy. Daddy wasn't nothing. He gonna be, some of them say he's just like your dad. Especially if you get into something where dad was a troublemaker. His mama, she wasn't. See, but that ain't the way God orchestrated our life.
Right.
Men didn't orchestrate your life. God did it.
Right.
Just like David said the same thing that Jeremiah said. I can show you next to Paul said the same thing. Paul said, he formed me in my mother's womb. How many read that? He said, he formed me in my mother's womb. Look at this, brother, man. As bad as Paul was, God already had a plan for him. God said, you can a prayer faith. You can go ahead on with your big head. Go ahead on with your bad self. But I got a time I'm going to bring you in.
All
I
right.
got you in my book.
That's good. That
All
brings
right.
it out. That's good.
How many read that what Paul said that he was formed in his mother's womb? Same thing he said about Jeremiah. People don't know nothing about your life. You know, if my life had been left up to people, ain't no telling what I'd been.
Right, all of it.
Probably in the grave. If it had been up to people. But it wasn't up to people. God had already got you written down in the book. God knows what you're going to do. God knows when to bring. I was sharing with a mental friend of mine just one day this week. I used to fish. I don't do too much fishing now. But there's certain fish that fight. They'll fight all the way in till you start taking them off the hook, they still be fighting. Then you got some when they get just about to the bank, they just lay down, they just give up. You just roll right on in. I said, main life and praying almost the same thing. If God got a plan for your life, you can fight. You can, I just said your arm too sharp to box with God anyway. You can fight, you can run, you can swear, you can do all these kind of things, but God got a time to reel you in.
Amen.
He had a time for Paul. Paul was a hardcore man, but he had a time for Paul. He brought him in. The same thing about the 12. The 12 already had their life planned out. They knew what they were going to do. That's what they thought. But if you ever thought about it, I'll show you how. And it's amazing. You think about it. When Jesus would walk by and say, I want you to follow me. Now listen, we know for a fact Peter had a family. He had a family. So for a man to just pick up and follow somebody that they know nothing about, it had to be the calling of God on their life. You follow what I'm saying? If you notice him, he called 12 men, and then none of them buck against him. Matthew was a tax collector. When Christ called him, he was sitting down at the desk, collecting tax. And Jesus prayed about, I want you to follow me. He just got up, just left. You know why? Because God had already orchestrated their life. That's what they're supposed to be doing. He wasn't supposed to be a tax collector. Paul wasn't supposed to be a church killer. He's supposed to help the church. But he started out, killing the church. And all of a sudden, he changed. Why? Because the name was in the book.
Amen.
All right.
That makes sense what we're saying.
Oh, yeah.
Again, they look at us.
Yeah.
If I look at myself, I put myself into it. When I was out there, listen, preaching was on my, preaching, that was the last thing on my mind.
Amen.
I could have thought of 100 things to do other than preaching. But you know what? I was in the book. When God got time, when that time come, wasn't no fight. Wasn't no fight. So this is what he was saying. He said, your name is in the book. He said, even before I was born, God had already, again, let me just close out with this and go on to the next one. Before you even born, God already had a book of you. The time that you're going to be born and the time that you're going to, it was already in the book.
That's good.
Have you thought about it? You Paul as an example. When Paul was getting ready to be when Paul was getting ready to be executed by Nero.
Right.
Dr. Abbott, have you thought about it? Here go a man, didn't even try to fight. He just went up there and put his head down. Here this man standing up there with an axe in his hand. Paul put his head on the chopping block. Didn't try to fight, didn't try to run, didn't try to argue, didn't try to do it. He just put his head on the chopping block. J-Man just quit and said, Dad, why did they that type of life? Because that's how God had already orchestrated. That's how God had already planned. They was at peace. That makes sense.
All right.
And he knew his time had come.
He said that. He said, my time of my departure, that ain't. I told you I was doing a lot of researching on that. And Paul did a lot of traveling by ships. You know, they took Paul from one jail to another by ships and stuff. So Paul would sit there and watch the ship come in and watch them go out. So the Spirit of God gave Paul a revelation. So when he was getting ready to be beheaded by Nero, he looked up, he probably seen the ship, you know, departing out. Paul said, the time of my departure that wasn't no fighting. He said, the time of my departure that ain't. He said, I don't fight in my time.
That's right.
I don't finish my course. He said, I'm finna go home now and receive my call.
That's good.
Wasn't no fight.
That's what he said. I'm finished down here.
It was finished. And all of them, pretty much all of them died that day. All of them. Wasn't no fight. You know why? Because that's how God had it in the book. Okay, anything that's about to bring up before we move. Now, what book was that?
The book of the living.
Book of
The
living.
book of the living. Your name is in the book of the living. Any question? Everybody understand? Again, we could go deep into it, but we're giving you something that you can study on too. You know, we're giving you some insight about these books. 5 crime,
5 books.
5 books. Let's go to the book of life. The 3rd chapter, the book of Revelation. What did I say? Book of life. What chapter?
Revelation 3rd chapter.
The 3rd chapter, the book of Revelation. Everybody got it? Revelation 3 and 5. We're going to look at some more books too. This book is called what?
The book of life.
The book of life. 3 and 5. He that overcomes, the same shall be clothed with a white garment, a white robe. And I will not blot out the name. If you notice something, they say name. The name out of what?
The book of life.
Book of life.
But I will confess his name before my Father and before his angels. Now, if you notice something, what did that verse say? What's the name for that?
There are 3 things you must overcome. I'm trying to get into it, you know, what I've been studying, but I ain't. But there are 3 things you must overcome. You must overcome the world, you must overcome Satan, and you must overcome yourself.
That's right, the first.
Once you overcome all 3 of those, the same shall be clothed in white remnant. And I will not blot out his name out the book of life, but I will confess his name before my Father and before his angels. Now, when he said he will confess our name, like you said, you know, it ain't the name that we have now. It's the name that we will be rewarded
That's right.
for withstanding, you know, these things that's on the earth.
Okay. That's good what you just said. Anybody else see anything else in this? Because we got some more verses chapter that we look at to finish clarify. Who else thinks is in this 5th chapter? What else you see?
And see, he said the one that overcometh, their name will not be blotted out of the book of life.
Okay.
That means their name will remain in the book of life. That means you overcome and you'll be with him.
Okay. Okay, that's right. Anybody else?
And also, so it's like, when he go to the Father, he gonna plead our case. You know, he go to the Father, he go take our name before the Father. You know, and just like you know, that book, he said, those that the Father have given me. You know, what that was in the 4 box.
But if you notice something, they're pretty interested in this verse. What do you see kind of stand out in that verse? In the 5th chapter.
Blot out the name.
What?
You will not blot out your name.
He won't what?
Blot out your name.
So it's what I'm kind of seeing here. You're right. It seems like your name can be blotted out.
Yes, it can.
Now we're talking about the book of life.
Mhm.
So it's kind of mess people up on this grace period.
Yeah.
Once saved, always saved.
Mm-hmm.
He said, man, so your name can be blotted out.
Mhm.
He said, your name, just like I put it in there, I can take your name back out.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't necessarily because your name already in the book of life. It can remain there. And I'm sure another person said the same thing. Your name can come out. Now, some people say, once you save your name, go in the Lamb book of life. We're talking about this right here. But it said it can be blotted out too.
Mm-hmm.
Now this is what it said in the right here. He said that he would not blot out your name. But Ray said your name could be blotted out.
Mm-hmm.
How many see that?
Amen.
So that's kind of a contrary once saved, always saved. Because once you get saved, your name do be put in the book of life. But John is saying right here, which was the last writer, he said your name can come out too.
Mm-hmm.
I never hear nobody say that, once it goes, it's in there. He said your name can be blotted out, the book of life.
A lot of them teaching that.
Yeah, but what did he say right here? Didn't he say your name can? Ain't that what he saying?
Mm-hmm.
Name will not be.
He that overcomes.
Yeah. You got to overcome first.
You got to overcome. He said, he that overcometh, the same shall be clothed with white garment, white clothes.
Mhm.
And I will not blot out his name out of the book of life.
Mhm.
And I will confess his name before the Father and before his angels. Okay,
And that's why he said we got to endure to the end.
that's right.
If you don't endure, you ain't gonna make it.
That's right.
He said
You're
that's why
right.
we got to endure to the end.
That's exactly right. What one should say, the race ain't given to the swift nor the strong, but the one that endures to the end. You don't get no crime, you don't get no reward coming in late. Okay,
Can I give you a scripture that bags up exactly what you're saying?
yeah.
Revelations 2 and 5.
I think I
No.
did that.
Revelations 2 and 5. Yeah, 2 and 5.
Revelation 2 and 5.
Mm-hmm. You got
That's
it?
where we at. Revelation 2 and 5.
No, we had Revelation 3 and 5.
Yes, right. Okay, Revelation 2 and 5.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what does it say? Yeah.
Remember therefore from which thou art fallen, and repent, and do your first works, or else I will come unto thee quickly, and will remove thy candlesticks out of his place, except thou repent. So, like again, if you don't do what you're supposed to do, or if you don't overcome, this one say a candlestick. The other say blot out your name.
That's right.
So that, like you're saying again, that people that say once saved, always saved, later on you can, like you say, if you always saved, he wouldn't say, he said he didn't even blow out your fire. He said he'd remove the whole candlestick.
That's right. Same thing being blotted out. So it's apparently when a person gets saved, your name do go in the Lamb Book of Life. But I don't see nowhere, nowhere say your name can't come out. You see what I'm saying? He said, who name? He said, I want to take your name out of the Lamb Book of Life. So just like he put it, he can blot it back out. Let's go to Revelation 20, 22. Preachers get mad when we talk about this.
You got to know it though.
People need
You
to
got to
know
know
it.
it.
Revelation 22, everybody got it?
Mm-hmm.
Revelation 22,
We say 20.
22. Everybody got it? Revelation 22. I'm going to start in the 17, just read down something. In the spirit, in the bride say, come. Let him that hear say, come. And let him that is thirsty come. And whosoever will, let him take of the water of life freely. 1 to 18 verse. For I testify to every man that hear the word of this prophet, of this book. If any man shall add unto these things these things written in the book. Everybody see that?
Mm-hmm.
If any man shall add anything that's written in this book, and if any man take away from the word of this book of the prophet, God shall take away the part out of the book of what?
Life.
The book of life, and out of the holy city, and from the thing which is written
In this book.
in the book. What's that saying?
That's plain and simple. That's going for people in the pulpit, out of the pulpit, the ones that say they, saved, and the ones that that's serious, and the ones that's not serious. You are going to be judged for everything that you do.
That's right.
Regardless of your agenda or your purpose behind, of the word of this book. If you mishandle it, you're going to be judged accordingly. If you handle it wisely, you're going to be rewarded accordingly. I remember I brought this out with you one time before, the word is like a two-edged sword. Now, to me, it's saying, everyone that preach the word of God, of course, you can cut somebody, for what they're doing. But if you're not handling this right, when you come back up to sheave it, and you're not handling it right, you're going to cut yourself with the same word that you cut somebody else with. So what it's saying here, when you preaching and you teaching and you talking with this Bible, you better know what you're doing, and you better handle it like you really mean it.
That's right. That's right. Okay, anybody else?
Yeah, and it let me know that I have no business try to add to this word to sanctify nobody. I have no business to take something away from this word to try to please nobody. Because if I do that, then my name could, it's possible chance my name gonna be taken out the book. That's what it says right here. So if I, in other words, if I'm preaching something to try to hold a crowd and won't tell them the truth, I'm taken away. Then if I add to it their sin to make them feel comfortable about it, then I'm adding to it. So my name can be pulled out of the book. So they let me know, look here, I got to be upright all the time. I got to tell you the truth, whether it hurt you or me. It's just like you always just say right here, I'm going to tell the truth if it kill all us in here. Because you got to know the truth. The don't think I'm going to be free by. We don't be free by adding something to it because somebody else doing this right here in the body of Christ to make them feel comfortable in their wrongdoing. Or you take something away from it to make people feel comfortable in their wrongdoing. Just to hold the people there for a paycheck. Tell the truth.
That's right.
And we all come up together or we all go down together. But if you tell the truth, we'll go up together.
That's right. That's right. Okay, Dr.
And I'd like to say too, Bishop, you look for unsaved people that's trying to preach the gospel, taking aid from God's word, make their own, religion, to take away, ain't no hell and all this out the Bible. Okay, them children, that people's name ain't on the book of life, no way. But we as born again believers with our name written on the bottom of the book of life, this book is a blessing, and this book will be a curse to you because it's a dangerous book if you don't use it according to the way God said.
Right.
Because you can destroy so many people's lives, lead so many people to hell, because you got your own agenda. You interpret it with your own private interpretation. So this book, being up there is serious, Bishop.
This is, you're right.
That's serious.
That's right.
Teaching.
That's right. It's the most serious business
It's serious.
in the world. Because I tell you why, let me say it again. It's the most serious business in the world. You know why? Because you ain't got but one soul. Everything else can be replaced but the soul.
Yes.
So we're going to give a strong account.
Sure
This
will.
prayer, well, I don't want to hurt nobody feelings. I ain't trying to run nobody out. I told you, I was tried out for a church one time. They told me, said, well, even before I went into the pulpit, they told me, said, now you can preach without hurting nobody's feelings. I know right then God didn't want me there. I went for a trial. So you can preach without hurting people's feelings. Well, what you want me to do? You want me to preach, to satisfy everybody. You want me to pacify people. That's what you want. Matter of fact, me and Private talking about this week. So many times we get caught up in people's feelings.
Yeah.
God will give you a message. It may be a person that in that sin. If you ain't careful, you go around there. Because that person is dead, you don't want to hurt their feelings.
Yeah.
No, you can't add and you can't take it away. You got, I mean, God said, that's just the way it is. Do everybody see that?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's look at another. Same thing, but let's look at another. Let's go to Exodus 32. Exodus 32.
That's good.
We're talking about the book of life now. As a matter of fact, the book of life mentioned 12 times in the Bible. Let's look at 30 and we'll come down to about 31. And it came to pass on tomorrow that Moses said unto the people, you have sinned a great sin, and now will go up unto the Lord, provided I have made an atonement for your sin. Now watch the 31. And Moses returned unto the Lord and said, oh, this people have sinned a great sin, and have made them God of gold. 32. Yet now, if thou wilt forgive their sin, and if not, what he say?
Blot me, I pray thee,
I pray thee out of the book of life.
out of the book that thou hast read.
I pray thee, or I'm asking you. And if not, blot me out, I pray you, out of the books which thou hast written. What book were you talking about?
Book of life.
The book of life.
What book?
The book of life.
That's exactly. How did he know everything about the book of life? Wait, see, about Revelation.
Uh-huh.
But if you notice something, he said, if you don't want to forgive them people, just take my name out the book.
That what Moses told him.
Sure did. And they were saying, he said, take me out the book. Moses was probably one of the highest standard prophets that God had called. So Moses knew that God wasn't going to take him out of the book. But as a man, how he said it though, in the Old Testament, he said, now if you're not going to forgive them people, take me out of the book of life. That's what he's saying. Take me out of the book. Do everybody see that? Because Moses knew if he took him out of the book, he'd be lost. The 32. And the Lord said unto Moses, whosoever thou hast sinned against me, him will I blot out of the book. Did you see that?
I can take it out.
Do you see that part? Huh?
I can take it out. He said, I can take it out.
And the Lord said unto Moses, whosoever has sinned against me, him will I blot out from my book. That's the book of life. Because I put it in there, I take it back out.
It ain't got no S on it.
That's what you know, that the book of life. No S. Do everybody see this?
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Any question on that before we run to another?
Yeah, and that goes again what say before, because he read it on down. No matter how, even though Moses stood up to God, God cannot go against his own word.
Yeah.
You know, because Moses had faith when he said that.
Oh yeah.
And now, if thou wilt forgive their sin, and if not, blot me, I pray thee, out of the book of life. Now Moses meant that. He had faith in that, you know, and that God would do that.
Yeah.
But again, I don't care how much faith Moses had. In the end, you know, God said, therefore, God still replied to him. And the Lord said to Moses, whosoever have sinned against me,
Right.
him would I blot out my book.
Yeah.
That means that God's word overrided Moses' faith. And Moses had plenty of it. We can't see and say Moses didn't mean what he said. Moses meant what he said, but his faith still cannot override God's word.
That's right. That's exactly right. That's right.
And two, Moses hadn't seen.
Mm-hmm.
Huh?
Moses wasn't the one that seen.
No, Moses hadn't seen. He hadn't seen. Okay, Bishop.
But he had to remind Moses, you ain't sinned, but these people have sinned against me.
Mm-hmm.
And see, sometimes we got to have a reminder, and that's why we got the Holy Spirit. Look here, you done sinned.
Mm-hmm.
You need to repent for your name come out the book.
And one more thing I see. And God was telling him that you ain't Jesus.
Yeah.
Your purpose, that's not your job.
That's good too. But see, God override Moses. He override what he said. But that's a strong statement. That just like you would say, but God, now you think about this here. If my some gonna be lost. Let me be lost too. That's a strong
That's
statement.
strong, that's very strong.
That's a strong statement, ain't it? He said, look here, if you can't forgive them, just take my name out the book. Blot me out the book.
That's serious.
That's a strong statement.
It is.
Now suppose God had to honor that.
Him and everybody else, we wouldn't be here.
That's right. Been messed up.
All of them, we've been gone.
Yeah, been messed up. If God, that's right. If God had honored that.
Mm-hmm.
So he would tell them, that's a strong statement. Say, if you can't forgive these people, well, I'm going to give you a rubber. We don't have time to get into it. Everybody listen to this shit. Their name, now you know, what did he say about the one that sinned? What did he say about it?
He said their name blotted out.
I blotted out, didn't I?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what happened? All of them that sinned, he blotted them out.
Sure he did.
Because then none of them make it to the promised
Sure they
land,
did.
but the one 20 and on down. All the rest of them that sinned, he blocked them out.
Sure did. They died in the wilderness.
They died in the wilderness. They never did make it to the promised land, and they didn't make it to hell. Because their name was blotted out. You know, God didn't argue with Moses. God didn't argue with Moses. He didn't say nothing to him about it. But God already knew. These people have sinned, and they're not going to repent. God already knew that. And the time come when they should have went into Canaan land and they didn't go, God said, I put it this way, I'll be there with the last straw. God said, okay. Matter of fact, Paul says that God swore that they wouldn't make it to the promised land. So what God did, he blotted them out. And they just walked round and round in the wilderness for 40 years till they all died out.
Mm-hmm.
And then God let the one 20 years and on down into the promised land. Then the one God blotted out the book.
That's right.
Do everybody see that?
Amen.
Verse 31.
Huh?
What, verse 31?
Verse 31. Okay. And Moses returned unto the Lord and said, oh, these people have sinned, a great sin. And I have made them a God
Yeah, I mean, God is good.
of gold.
They said a great sin.
That was a great sin. You know who did that, don't you?
Made their own
But you know who made that gold coffin? I mean, huh? Moses, bro. Adam did that. Adam did. They sinned. So their name was blotted out. And anybody name come out of the book of life, you lost.
You lost.
Huh?
You lost.
You lost. Remember in Luke, another one, then we look at two more, then we'll move on. Remember, we brought this out in Luke. Matter of fact, they go to the 10th chapter of the book of Luke. You can write those scriptures down. Like I said, I'm kind of skeeving over because we ain't got time to go really to the in-depth of it. But
You gonna go back in it again?
Huh?
You gonna go back and do another Bible study?
He better.
I can.
Yes, Lord.
Look at the 10th chapter of the book of Luke. Now, this is Jesus. And I'll pick up in 18, just read down something. And Jesus said unto them, I behold Satan and lightning falling from heaven. Behold, I give unto you power, authority to tread over serpent, over scorpion, and over all the power of the enemy, and nothing by any means shall hurt you. Nor with understanding, in this rejoice not, that the spirits are subject unto you, but rather rejoice because of what?
Your names are written in heaven.
Your name is what?
Written in heaven.
Is written in heaven. What that saying? Pretty self-explanatory, but it's still deep. What that saying?
Not to rejoice because, you know, the enemy is subject to you. You know, that's good, but that ain't what to really rejoice about. But we rather rejoice that our name is written in the Lamb Book of Life in heaven.
That's exactly right.
Anybody, you know, today they fooling you by casting out demons and stuff. Or, you know, that's good, but most people rejoice in that rather than people's name be written in the Lamb Book of Life.
That's right.
And that's good. And I'd rather know life with me. Or I'd rather know that a stranger, I ran into a stranger, and I helped them get their name written in the book of heaven. Then for me to go out and cast. What's good of me casting out demons and tripping over stakes, the power that he gave me, but I'm not helping nobody name be written in the book of life.
That's exactly right.
My works is in vain.
That's exactly right. You're right. I think further down and we're going to get into some of that too. But you brought out, both of y'all brought out. This is what Jesus was saying. He had sent the 12 out. They came back, they had checked out them. No doubt they had probably laid hands on the blind eyes, seen blind eyes open up. They probably had did marvelous work. And they were stunned at their own self.
Yeah.
They marveled at their own self. And they come back with their head up in there. They thought they had done something. Said, Jesus, you know what?
Go ahead.
We doing what you do. We done cast out devils. We done laid hands on the sick. We done done all these kind of things. Christ probably looked and said, that's good. That's fine. Good that you're doing all the things. He said, but what you need to rejoice about, because your name
There you go.
has been written in the Lamb Book of Life. That's what you need to rejoice
Amen.
over.
Amen.
Same thing about it that you brought out downtown. It don't make no difference how God uses her.
Yeah.
Don't rejoice in that. You better rejoice because God done put your name in the Lamb Book of Life. And pray it don't be blotted back out.
That's right. Amen.
You know, so many times people want you. I don't want to get ahead of myself because this fuck on some of these books. So many times, people start looking and talking about what I did. The same thing. Bishop Biden, when he prayed for Bishop. Who can pat themselves on the back talking about look what we did? Nobody. Even though God had to use one person to do it.
He still got the
You still can't pat yourself on the back talking about look what I did. You better be glad that your God done put your name in the Lamb Book of Life.
Yes.
That's the only thing we really need to rejoice about.
That's right.
Rejoice because our name has been recorded in the Lamb Book. It's very important that your name be put there and stay there.
And stay there.
Amen.
I'm gonna be honest with you.
Something to think about.
I'm gonna be honest with you. Most preachers, they probably get in strike with me. They probably talk about it and say, what are you talking about? I'm talking about it. He said that your name can be blotted out. Jesus made it plain. He said, rejoice because your name been put in the Lamb Book of Life.
Yes.
Just like it been put there, it can be taken back out.
Any day.
Jesus.
Did everybody see that?
Amen.
They thought that they did something.
Amen.
You know what they, let me let it alone, but you know what they were rejoicing in? They were rejoicing in the flesh.
Yeah. That's it.
That's all they were doing. They were rejoicing in the flesh. Look what we done did.
Uh-huh.
They probably trying to talk one another. When I checked out the deal, when I laid hands on the blind, when I did this, and whoa, wait. Don't rejoice in that. You better rejoice because your name has been written in the Lamb Book of Life. I'm gonna look at one more. Let's go to Philippians, the 4th chapter book of Philippians. I'm going to close out with this.
That's good. Awesome.
Again, I probably, people probably get some feedback when they listen. Then what we talk, I can back up. It's Bible.
We got to.
The 4th chapter, the book of Philippians. Look at the 3rd verse. This is the last one we give in close out. This is Paul writing to the church of Philippi. And I entreat you also, true fellow helpers, help those women who labor with me in the gospel, and with Clement also, and with other fellow laborers, whose name is what?
In the book of life.
But if you notice something, he said them women too.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yes, he did, Bishop.
He specifically put that down. Look at the 3rd verse. And I entreat you also, true fellow, your fellow, help those women which labor or work with me in the gospel, with Clement also, and with other my fellow laborers, whose names are in the book of life.
All right.
Man, that's deep.
That's good.
You know what he said, Doctor? Just like the men's name is in the book of life, them women in the book of life too.
There you go.
I ain't got no confidence in a woman preacher. I got none of some men either.
That was
Man.
right.
It don't make no difference. He said these women helping also. He said they helping Clement me. They helping me in the gospel. They working in the gospel. Their name has been recorded in the Lamb Book of Life, just like mine been recorded in the Lamb Book of Life.
That's good.
Do everybody see that?
Yes, sir.
Man.
Amen. This is good news.
How many find what he is saying?
Amen.
Oh, yeah.
He said, fellow, your fellow,
Yeah.
help those women. Help them. Who work with me in the gospel. See, they was working
Yes.
in the gospel. And with Clement also. And with other my fellow laborers, whose name
Oh, in the
is
book
in the
of
book
life.
of life.
Book of life.
That's good.
In the right book.
This is no joke. 12 times he talked about the book of life. 12 times. Through the whole Bible, he talked about it 12 times. So the book of life is the most important thing. Your name being in the book of life is the most important thing that's in a person's life.
Yes, it is.
All right.
Everything else really, it don't matter a whole lot. But your name needs to be recorded in the book of life. All in the New Testament talking about it. Anybody see anything they want to bring out? We can go on and on and on.
Yeah, I got one thing. Notice he said, the first time he said, yo, fellow, and the second time he said, fellow workers That yoke, that yoke mean, it's like a lock. Like a yoke.
Yoke together.
Like a handcuffs or something.
Right.
So the first one he said, the yoke fellas, they mean they was bound together. They was locked in, one-on-one with each other.
Jesus.
That mean they labored unconditionally. What one felt, the other felt. One went through, the other went through. That mean they was locked in together. They couldn't be separated. And then he said, fellow laborers, them the ones that was helping. That's out. That's in the field. That's good. And he put the yoke fellows with the women.
Sure did. He didn't separate them.
Nope.
He didn't separate them. You got so many churches. They the women get, even in the Western world, they still do that. The women ain't got too much to say something. You still, if you know it's on TV, them women still walk around with their head covered up. Some of them walk around with, can't see nothing but the eye. The old men kept them in bondage. But right here, Paul is telling the church right here. He said the women's and the men, they labor together.
Right.
He ain't got to separate. They both labor together. And he know what he said. The important thing, he said his name in the book of life.
Yes.
That's good.
And right before he said fellow laborers, he said truth.
Jesus.
True fellow laborers.
That's right.
Those that are sound, truthful about doing what they're doing for the gospel's sake.
That's right. That's right. You know what you just said, and I think, Brian, you did too. A little bit further down, we're gonna show you how laboring is very important. But have the right spirit when you're laboring.
All right,
There you go.
Bishop.
See, further on down, and some of the other books we'll look at, you got to have the right. Some of them doing it for self, Lord. What I can get out of it. So we look at that further on down. But again, in the third verse, he mentioned the book of life.
That's good.
Everybody see that?
Amen.
And we can go on and on, but we'll close it out with that, and we'll pick it back up again. Maybe we'll get into